The creative industry refers to a broad and evolving sector of the economy that is centered on the generation, development, and commercialization of ideas, knowledge, and cultural expression. Unlike traditional industries that primarily depend on physical labor, raw materials, or large-scale manufacturing, the creative industry relies heavily on human imagination, talent, and intellectual property. It includes fields such as music, film, television, advertising, architecture, fashion, design, publishing, video games, digital media, and the performing arts. In recent decades, it has expanded further into areas like social media content creation, animation, virtual reality experiences, and digital marketing, reflecting the rapid influence of technology on creative work. Creative industries refer to sectors that focus on the production and distribution of cultural, artistic, and innovative content. The creative industries are economic activities focused on the generation or exploitation of knowledge and information. They may variously also be referred to as the cultural industries, especially in Europe, creative economy, and most recently they have been denominated as the orange economy in Latin America and the Caribbean. John Hawkins's concept of creative economy encompasses a wide range of sectors, including advertising, architecture, art, crafts, design, fashion, film, music, performing arts, publishing, R&D, software development, toys and games, TV and radio, and video games. Some scholars consider that the education industry, including public and private services, to be part of the creative industries. Therefore, there are different definitions of the sector. In recent years, the delegation from UNESCO want add to protection of cultural heritage in register. The creative industries have been seen to become increasingly important to economic well-being, proponents suggesting that human creativity is the ultimate economic resource and that the industries of the 21st century will depend increasingly on the generation of knowledge through creativity and innovation. As some first world countries struggle to compete in traditional markets such as manufacturing, many now see the creative industry as a key component in a new knowledge economy, capable perhaps of delivering urban regeneration, often through initiatives linked to exploitation of cultural heritage that leads to increased tourism. It is often argued that, in future, the ideas and imagination of countries like the United Kingdom will be their greatest asset. In support of this argument, a number of universities in the UK have started to offer creative entrepreneurship as a specific area for study and research. Historically, creative activities have always existed as part of human societies, from ancient storytelling and traditional crafts to classical art, music, and theater. However, the concept of the creative industry as a recognized economic sector is relatively modern. It began gaining attention in the late 20th century, particularly in the 1990s and early 2000s, when governments and economists started to realize the economic value of cultural and creative production. Countries such as the United Kingdom played a significant role in formalizing the term, especially as they observed that industries based on creativity were contributing significantly to employment, innovation, and national income. Since then, the idea has spread globally, and many nations now include creative industries in their development strategies. The rise of the creative industry is closely linked to globalization and technological advancement. The spread of the internet, mobile devices, and digital platforms has transformed how creative content is produced, distributed, and consumed. Artists, designers, filmmakers, and writers are no longer limited to local audiences, they can now reach global markets instantly. At the same time, audiences have become more active participants in creativity, as seen in user-generated content, online streaming platforms, and social media culture. This shift has blurred the boundaries between producers and consumers, making creativity more interactive and decentralized than ever before. One of the major strengths of the creative industry lies in its ability to generate economic growth while also preserving and promoting cultural identity. Creative work often reflects the traditions, values, and stories of communities, helping societies maintain a sense of identity in an increasingly globalized world. At the same time, it creates jobs across a wide range of skill levels, from highly specialized professionals like directors, software developers, and architects to support roles in production, marketing, and distribution. In many countries, especially developing economies, the creative industry has become an important source of employment for young people and a pathway for entrepreneurship. Another important advantage of the creative industry is its contribution to innovation. Creativity often drives technological and social progress because it encourages new ways of thinking and problem solving. For example, advancements in animation, gaming, and digital design have not only transformed entertainment but have also influenced education, healthcare visualization, and engineering simulations. Similarly, advertising and branding industries continuously push the boundaries of communication strategies, shaping how products and ideas are presented in the market. In this sense, the creative industry does not exist in isolation but interacts closely with other sectors of the economy. Despite these strengths, the creative industry also faces several challenges. One of the most significant is income instability. Many creative professionals work as freelancers or independent contractors, which often leads to irregular earnings and lack of job security. Work is frequently project-based, meaning individuals may experience periods of high income followed by long gaps without work. Competition is another major issue, as the accessibility of creative fields attracts a large global workforce. While this diversity encourages innovation, it also means that only a small portion of creators achieve sustained commercial success. Intellectual property protection remains a critical concern. Since creative outputs can be easily copied or shared digitally, creators often struggle to maintain ownership and receive fair compensation. Piracy, unauthorized distribution, and plagiarism continue to affect the industry globally. In addition, inequality within the industry is a persistent issue, as access to opportunities is often influenced by education, social networks, and financial background. These structural barriers can limit diversity and representation in many creative sectors. The creative industry is also shaped by its relationship with technology. Digital platforms have revolutionized production and distribution, enabling global access and lowering barriers to entry. However, they have also created dependency on algorithms and platform policies. Visibility is often controlled by recommendation systems, meaning that success can depend on digital engagement metrics rather than purely artistic quality. Artificial intelligence is increasingly being used in creative processes, from generating music and visuals to assisting in writing and editing. While this increases efficiency, it also raises concerns about originality, authorship, and the future role of human creativity. The global distribution of creative industries is uneven. Countries like the United States dominate film, television, and digital entertainment, while South Korea has become a global leader in music and pop culture. European countries often excel in design, fashion, and heritage-based industries, while many developing economies are expanding rapidly in digital content creation. These differences are shaped by education systems, infrastructure, policy support, and technological access. Education plays a crucial role in developing creative talent. While formal training in arts, media, and design is important, informal learning through digital platforms has become equally significant. Online tutorials, communities, and independent learning resources have democratized access to creative skills. However, disparities in access to technology and education still create unequal opportunities across different regions. The creative industry is also closely tied to urban development. Many cities invest in creative sectors as part of economic regeneration strategies, creating cultural districts that attract tourism, investment, and talent. These areas often become vibrant hubs of innovation and cultural exchange. At the same time, the creative economy extends beyond traditional industries, influencing manufacturing, education, technology, and business communication. Labor conditions in the creative industry are unique. Work is often freelance, portfolio-based, and project-driven rather than structured around long-term employment. While this allows flexibility and creative freedom, it also requires individuals to manage multiple roles, including self-promotion, networking, and financial planning. Networking itself plays a major role in career development, as opportunities often arise through personal connections rather than formal recruitment systems. Mental health is another growing concern in creative professions. Pressure to remain relevant, produce original work, and maintain public visibility can lead to stress and burnout. Public exposure through digital platforms adds additional psychological pressure, as feedback is immediate and often highly visible. Awareness of these issues is increasing, leading to discussions about better working conditions and support systems. Government policies also influence the development of creative industries. Many countries support the sector through funding, grants, tax incentives, and educational programs. Public investment in cultural institutions such as museums, theaters, and festivals helps preserve heritage while encouraging artistic innovation. However, policy effectiveness varies widely depending on national priorities and economic conditions. Globalization has intensified cultural exchange, allowing creative ideas to flow rapidly across borders. This has led to hybrid cultural forms, where traditional and modern influences combine. While this promotes diversity and innovation, it also raises concerns about cultural appropriation and loss of local identity. Balancing global influence with cultural preservation remains a key challenge. Entrepreneurship is a defining feature of the creative industry. Many creators operate as independent businesses, building personal brands and targeting niche audiences. Financial systems have evolved to support this, with crowdfunding, subscriptions, and digital patronage enabling creators to sustain their work. However, financial instability remains a common issue, requiring multiple income streams for sustainability. Creative industries also play a powerful role in shaping social narratives and public perception. Through media, advertising, and entertainment, they influence how people understand identity, culture, and social issues. This gives the industry significant cultural responsibility, as representation can shape real-world attitudes and beliefs. Youth participation is particularly strong in the creative sector. Digital platforms have lowered entry barriers, allowing young people to build audiences and careers independently. However, this also exposes them to pressures of competition, visibility, and online criticism. At the same time, the industry serves as a space for self-expression and empowerment. Sustainability is becoming increasingly important, both culturally and environmentally. Creative production in fields such as fashion, film, and events can have environmental impacts, leading to efforts to adopt greener practices. Digital tools and sustainable materials are being used to reduce waste and emissions. Collaboration remains central to creative work. Projects often require multiple disciplines working together, combining technology, storytelling, design, and marketing. While collaboration enhances innovation, it also introduces challenges related to coordination and ownership. The creative industry also has significant economic impact at national and global levels. It contributes directly to GDP and indirectly through tourism, technology, and supporting services. Creative goods and services are highly exportable, especially through digital platforms, giving countries access to global markets. However, competition is intense, and market success is often influenced by platform algorithms and visibility systems controlled by large technology companies. Attention has become one of the most valuable resources in the digital creative economy. With vast amounts of content produced daily, creators must compete for visibility in crowded spaces. This has shifted focus toward branding, engagement, and audience retention strategies. Despite its economic and technological complexity, the creative industry ultimately serves a deeper human purpose. It provides emotional expression, cultural meaning, and shared experience. Music, film, literature, and visual arts allow individuals to understand themselves and others, offering emotional connection and reflection. In conclusion, the creative industry is a multifaceted and rapidly evolving system that integrates culture, economy, technology, and human expression. It operates across individual, organizational, and global levels, shaping how societies communicate, innovate, and define identity. While it offers vast opportunities for employment, innovation, entrepreneurship, and cultural exchange, it also presents ongoing challenges such as inequality, instability, intellectual property concerns, and platform dependence. As technology continues to advance and globalization deepens, the creative industry will remain a central force in shaping the future of economies and societies. Its true value lies not only in economic contribution but in its ability to reflect human imagination, preserve cultural identity, and continuously redefine how people understand the world and themselves. Thank you for watching this video.